My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, the podcast that shows spiritual entrepreneurs how to clarify their message and then how to turn that clarity into revenue. I'm your host, Prima Jope, a mentor and message expert since 2020. Whether you seek to simply clarify your message or feel ready to monetize your brilliance, this is your safe space for actionable guidance and practical tools on how to turn your woo into predictable revenue. Let's get started, shall we? Years ago, could be 3, could be more, I had a problem of waiting till things are perfect to move. And I remember there was one phase in particular where I felt like I needed to start all over again. I needed to change my audience, change my offer, change everything I was doing. And I think I took like 7 months creating businesses and then breaking them down myself. This is how it looked like. For 1 month, I would decide this is who I'm serving, this is what I'm offering, this is my message. So this is the person, this is the problem, this is the how I'm going to solve it, and this is all of the things. So I would get my mission and my business and kind of build it. And then I would run that for a month. And then I would decide, that doesn't feel good. And then I would change to something else. And sometimes I would spend days and days creating the entire business, and then I would decide it won't work. Like in my head, I would decide, no, this won't work. This feels off. And then I would start again. I think I did over 13 pivots with that. And then one day I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. One day I decided I'm going to take this, run with it, and keep going until I get all the lessons. Like I was getting the thing, moving with it for like, who knows, 1 month, 3 months, and then I was just dropping the thing. And I really wasn't getting anywhere because I had amazing ideas that I even see myself launching now and next year, but it probably wasn't the right time, or I just dropped them before testing them. I don't know if you've had that problem, but sometimes you can get in your head and get stuck in your head. And you can spend there months and months trying to figure out what angle feels. It's like I was waiting for God to knock my head with a torch and say, hey, this is the thing, go run it. What I really discovered after wasting like 7 months is sometimes the clarity I'm looking for as a human being is sat in the action I'm not taking. And I'm not just saying move and take action and just keep going. But you have to kind of move and take action that feels aligned. And sometimes you're not going to be hit by lightning for that thing to register. Sometimes there's no grand revelation that is coming. Sometimes there is no big aha that is going to happen for the longest time. And sometimes it takes faith to move out of your head and move. I'll give you an example. When I decided to open my school community, there's a lot of things I wanted to figure out. Like, what did people really, really want? I can teach a lot of things, but what did people really, really want right now? What was the need right now for the person that I serve? What did I want to focus on? Is it message clarity, or is it monetization? Or is it pressure-free enrollment? Or is it personal branding? Or is it one of the other things that I can teach? And so I sat on this decision, and month in, month out, I just wasn't getting clear. And then finally, it appeared to me that I was like starting a fire and then putting water on the fire, starting a fire and then putting water on the fire. It's like I was testing God. Can I say that? Like I was saying I'm moving, but then one of my feet was moving backwards. So I was moving forward and then moving backwards. Moving forward, it's like putting an accelerator and then the brake at the same time. Accelerator and brake at the same time. And you can stay there for a long time. But also, I wanted to share with you is sometimes the clarity you're looking for, or that bang you're looking for, is hidden in the steps you're not taking. And what I want to encourage you today is, instead of thinking your way through the business you're trying to build, I want you to try and get in the weeds and fail fast. Fail your way to the answers that that you're looking for. When I started that school community, at first it was even not about best kept secret. It was, I had another idea in mind. And then that idea died, and another idea died, and another idea died. And one day I just decided, when a client of mine told me that she had had a very bad health situation, but her only regret was that she was going to die a best kept secret, I decided that I was going to take best kept secret and just run with it. I didn't know where it would end. I didn't know there was even a need. I didn't know there was anybody else who thought they were a best kept secret. I just didn't know even that it was going to be a thing. I just knew that if this client of mine, who was one of my most successful clients, she'd made about 250,000 in her business. If she was saying that she's thinking she's the best kept secret right now, I must have failed my clients miserably. That is what I thought. Like, I must have failed them because someone was helping them make money and then life was putting them in a corner over there. And I was like, I don't understand this. But anyhow, her regret was like, if she died, she would have died a best kept secret. And that hit me like a brick. And I was like, I'm going to interview everyone who feels like that, because that's not a good feeling. And I felt like that. I felt like if I died, what would the world remember about me? If this was my last day, really, what is it that people would remember about me? And I didn't want to be remembered as somebody who just made people money. Like that wasn't fulfilling for me. And I wanted something else. I wanted to stand for something bigger than myself. And so I started interviewing people, and I didn't have like a big plan for the thing. I was like, I'm going to interview as many people as I can. I'm going to interview everyone who feels like they have a message and they haven't been able to share it, because I have a gift of messaging and bringing clarity to messaging. I said I'm going to use my gift to help people share their message. And if I woke up dead one day and someone Googled me, these videos would come up, and this would be my legacy, that I helped people share their message. That was it, like, for the most part. And then as I did these interviews and did these interviews and did these interviews, a lot of clarity came for me. I started talking to people and really seeing what they were struggling with. I started talking to people and really understanding why everyone was trying to get on a podcast, why everyone was trying to speak, and what was stopping them from actually getting clients. What I realized is that the problem I had been solving before wasn't the problem people had. Like, a lot of people didn't have a problem delivering what they sold. So how to become a better coach wasn't like much big of a problem for the market that I was in. I think it's a problem for people who are starting, but it is not really a problem that people know when they're already in business after some years. They believe they know how to teach, how to coach, how to mentor, but they don't know how to get clients. But when I was in my head thinking, I could teach people how to coach because I've done this over and over in the weeds. I could also teach people how to get clients. I could also teach people how to market themselves. But I could also teach people how to just create something I call you only marketing. Marketing only you can do. I had a lot of ideas of what I could do. I could also show people how to sell without being salesy or sneezy. Like, how do you sell with zero pressure? There were so many things that I could do. I could teach people personal branding and how to show up in the marketplace, like how to be in a market of one. I had all these ideas in my head, and I kept building these businesses and then breaking them down. Building these businesses. Sometimes nobody saw the business, and then I just broke it down. And one day I just decided, okay, I am going to go and help this person move from here to here. And I just moved and moved and moved and interviewed one person and another person and another person and another person and another person. And 100 interviews also later, it became so obvious for me what the problem was. It wasn't that people didn't know how to deliver on stuff. It wasn't that people didn't know how to write content, because they did. It wasn't anything other than the lack of clarity in the core, like in the core thing. Like, what is it that you're trying to do? What is the movement you're trying to build? What's the goal here? Like, a lot of people didn't know what the goal was. A lot of people were like not very solid about the initial thing they're bringing in the marketplace. And no wonder when they tried to do other things, they didn't work. When they went to a networking group, no one bought because it wasn't really clear why anybody needed what they had. So a lot of people are really running through this business creation instead of pausing and kind of saying, what am I doing? Who am I doing it for? How is this going to change the world? How is this a movement? Who really already is looking for this solution? Why am I uniquely positioned to solve this problem? But I was trying to ask myself these questions, and I asked myself these questions too much. The only problem I was in my head, and some of this even never made it to a post. And then I would wake up and then I would change my banner. And then a week later, I would change my banner again. And then 2 days later, I would change my banner again. And I felt like I was just flipping angles and flipping angles. Like, like running around the ring road and like not going anywhere, wondering why you're not moving ahead. This is what can happen for you when you don't move. Sometimes it's not until you move that clarity drops for you. Sometimes sitting down and waiting for lightning strike you from God doesn't happen. And so I want to encourage you, if you're in a phase of really not being clear, maybe you're a little confused or a lot confused, I want to encourage you to move. Whatever action feels aligned, take that action. Move, talk to people, help people. Sometimes whatever you're looking for is just hidden in the conversations you're not having. After talking to people, you're like, okay, what did I think? Recently, I opened my school community, and one thing I asked was, why did you decide to join? The reasons that people put why they joined blew my mind. It wasn't anything I was thinking. There is people who said, I joined because I saw your email. I saw your invitation on email. And a part of me didn't want to send those emails because I thought, I don't want to push people. I'll go live on Facebook and whoever wants to come can come. But then another part of me said, send an email, invite whoever wants to come. The amount of people that said, I saw your email and I liked what we did on the podcast, so I really wanted to learn more. There was another answer that shocked me, and that is, I am the best kept secret. Like when I saw your profile, when I saw what you stand for, I just knew that was for me. So just getting the description right can also get people to come. The other reason why people joined was when I read about best kept secret and the work you're doing, I feel like you're describing me. The point I'm trying to deliver for you is sometimes the clarity you're looking for is hidden in the answers you're not getting from the people who need your help. Now I know that what really people are attracted to is the fact that the movement is called best kept secret. And there is someone for who that is enough. They know they're the best kept secret and they want to come and see what's on the inside. There are people that the description is what is bringing them. So knowing that that description represents a certain group of people. But there's also people who came because I invited them. I came because I saw you live and I didn't know that you had a group. I came because I'd been anticipating your group for a while. I saw you talking about it and I was waiting. Yet I could be here on this live video and in my head I would think it got crickets. But really when I check in the stats, 90 people saw it. And people clicked the link and went to join the group. But I could be hung up in no one commented, so people don't like it. I don't know why my power is in and out. My lesson for you today is whatever it is you're trying to create in your head, try and get out of your head and try and see if you can take some form of aligned action. Sometimes there's so much clarity that is hidden in movement or in moving forward that doesn't find you where you're sat. It doesn't. And I don't know if I'm making sense for you who is super spiritual and have to kind of get that confirmation, but just the faith that something is going to clear up as you move. or thinking if I'm going to fail, if this is the wrong angle, I need to fail fast so I can get out of the failing and kind of come to the answer. Sometimes we stay too stuck in our head, too stuck in getting the proper thing that will work. And we forget that sometimes all we need to do is do the wrong thing so we can learn from it so that we are better when we do the right thing. I will end with encouraging you to just, if you have an idea and you've been sat on it for a moment and you've been maybe pouring water on the fire, as I have done, allow yourself to just accelerate and move. And if it doesn't work, I guarantee you that time was not wasted. I guarantee you learned something. Something I learned recently, and it shocked me, that entrepreneurship is just a game of self-development. And whoever can grow the most gets paid the most. So do not underestimate the things that don't work, because in those things that don't work, sometimes it's a lesson that is wrapped in sandpaper, which is going to help you accelerate the next thing. Like when I did in my Facebook group, it made me, at least over 100 grand was made from that group. I've made a lot of money on my profile itself, but I made about 100 something, 170 maybe in my group. That group was about 1,500 people. Then I cut them down to 900. Then at one point, I just shut it down. And I was like, okay, groups, I don't know anymore. I'm not doing another Facebook group. I spent a year without doing a group, and now I'm doing a group on school. And guess what? I have a lot of lessons from the group on Facebook that I can now use in school. There's nothing that goes to waste. But waiting for the perfect clarity to move, I find that does not really help you get any more clear. I have found a lot of clarity in taking the first step and the second step and the third step. So if you're stuck and you're not clear about a few things and you're waiting to be clear, I want to encourage you to take the step in faith. Take that aligned action in faith and see what happens for you. Because I've really taken steps sometimes in faith, I didn't even see the step. And before I could land, the step was there. But if I never lifted the foot, I would never have seen the step because it was never coming to find me where I was sat. Does that make sense? Sometimes you have to take the step and just hope that the step is there. And if you believe in faith, if you have faith like I do, the step's sure. I encourage you to move out of your head and move towards whatever it is you want to create. Because oftentimes than not, the clarity we desire, we seek, we are praying for is hidden in the steps we are not taking. Thank you for joining this conversation on the World's Best Kept Secret podcast today. If you feel ready to stop keeping your work a secret, head over to primajope.com and request